toxic masculinity.
Let's move back to this story. Mexican President Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador blames migrant crisis on Biden. So now we're not only saying that Biden's doing a worse job than Trump, or that his policies have aggravated the migrant crisis. Obrador is now just saying straight up, the migrant crisis is Biden's fault. I love this. Now, full transparency, full honesty, Biden doesn't control anything, right? He is a puppet, and his puppeteers are at fault here. But let's continue reading. You guys understand that? Let's continue reading. Mexican President Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador blamed President Biden, I hate when they write that, for the migrant surge that has erupted into a full-blown border crisis, arguing that the expectations he set left migrants with the perception that they would be led into the U.S. Whoever wrote this, New York Post, you're a good writer. I can read this very cleanly and easily. Lopez Obrador made the remarks while speaking to reporters Tuesday, the morning after his government met with Biden's envoys for the region, who were visiting to address the record spikes in illegal border crossings. Expectations were created that with the government of President Biden, there would be a better treatment of migrants. And that's caused Central American migrants, and also from our country, wanting to cross the border, thinking that it's easier to do so, he said at his daily morning presser. Lopez Obrador, a center-left populist who developed a positive working relationship with former President Trump, added, people don't go to the United States for fun. They go out of necessity. Exactly. And we don't, I on this show have always said, well, not on this show, but just in my personal life, I've always said that if I were a poor Mexican man, in his, I used to talk about this back when I was younger, in my 20s. I always used to say, yeah, I'd jump the border. If I could somehow get across the border and make more money for my family, I would definitely do it. I mean, I think everybody would. Right? You want to help out your family. What's more important? Some other person's country's border laws or feeding your family? Of course you're going to try to cross the border. And of course I have sympathy for these people. But there are consequences to illegal immigration, negative consequences to the United States. So the United States needs to take measures to stop it. And, the problem is not that I don't think the problem is that the left doesn't recognize the problem with immigration. I think that there are a lot of people on the left that do recognize there are problems with illegal immigration. The problem is that they realize that they get more political capital out of calling Republicans racist than they do from rationally assessing any given situation. So any given situation where they feel that they can gain political capital from calling Republicans racist, they'll take a really hardline position, which doesn't really make any sense. It's not rational. But they don't care, because if it makes Republicans look bad enough, they'll be in power. They'll get elected. So although I do think that there are plenty of policy people on the left who do recognize illegal immigration is bad for the country, they also recognize that it's worse for Republicans if they basically just call any kind of opposition to illegal immigration racist. And so that's their position. And now they're screwed, because now they're in power and they've got to deal with this crisis that they've created, right? Unintentional consequences. Let's see here. The comments are not the first critiques Lopez Obrador has offered of Biden's handling of the border, saying earlier this month, they see Biden as the migrant president, and so many feel they're going to reach the United States. We need to work together to regulate the flow, because this business can't be tackled from one day to the next. Well, exactly right. I mean, I could keep reading here, but basically, it's going to be stuff we already know. But the fact that the president of Mexico is now saying this, I mean, at the end of the day, what is the answer to the border crisis? It's pretty simple, right? The answer to the border crisis is simple. Reinstate Trump's policies. Simple. Now, what Biden will probably do, or Biden's administration, if they're smart, again, they'll let themselves be sued to get the wall up. But my hope, and they might do this, is to reinstate Trump's policies, but using different terms, right? Using like really super sympathetic terms and nice language, flowery language, so it makes it look like it's their own policy, which is much kinder to the illegal immigrants, when in reality, they're essentially putting in the same policies as Trump did. But unfortunately, we're now in a position where we need much harsher reforms than we had during Trump's administration, because what Trump did is he stemmed the flow of illegal immigrants. But, Biden's administration just sliced open the wound again, and it's we're bleeding. We're hemorrhaging now, right? The blood's flowing more than ever, and so we need we need surgery now. That we need a far more drastic measures than what was done under Trump's administration. Like, I do think that at this point we just need to start shipping illegal immigrants out of the country. But let's move on to the next story, because the next story, again, is about illegal immigration. Okay, so illegal immigrants to receive over $4 billion in stimulus money. This is insane. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.